Hello, Owl parents. Mr. Hagedorn here with our weekly update. So we will do this every week. We'll send out a video on Friday just to give you kind of a recap of the week and prepare you for next week. So we had a great first week of school. It was great getting to see some of you last night and meeting you for the first time. It has been a pleasure to meet your children this week. They've been doing awesome so far. We've had a great start. So this week in math, we started talking about ratios and how we can find equivalent ratios using diagrams, double number lines, and we started tables yesterday and today. And that is what tables will be what we're doing kind of for the rest of this quarter. In Math 6 Plus, we kind of did the exact same thing. We talked about ratios. All right. Next week in Math 6, we'll continue to talk about ratios. We will start preparing for our first quiz of the year. That quiz will be Monday the following week, so that'll be August 15th. On Friday next week, we'll take our STAR assessment. This is just a kind of a math test. Just gives us an idea of where your child is at academically in math. So we kind of know what we need to do to help them or push them if they may be above grade level. In Math 6 Plus, we will also be continuing with ratios and preparing for our quiz. Math 6 Plus will have their first quiz on Wednesday. This will be mostly on writing ratios and finding equivalent ratios. They will also be taking the STAR assessment on Friday to get an idea of where they are at. All right, have a great weekend, and we will see everybody next week.
Hi, Kelly Simonson here. Nice to see you guys. We did have a great first week, and it was lovely to see how many parents came out for our open house and meet the teacher last night. So we are in Percy Jackson, and we've gotten to know our character Percy Jackson this past week. Students had some things to complete in their workbook. Today they wrote a letter to their future self. If they didn't finish that up, they need to finish that up. That's classwork. They need to finish that up for homework tonight. So our first quiz is coming up on Tuesday. You can see that it's on chapters 1 through 4. So students have homework over the weekend to read chapter 3, but they might want to go ahead and read chapter 4 as well. And then on Monday night, to prepare for that test, they can listen to the audio links again and reread so that they're ready for our quiz. Students will be able to use their book during the quiz, but they won't have time to read the chapters. So they really need to make sure those chapters are read ahead of time. Coming up in the next week or so, they will all the students will be taking a fast bridge assessment, which is a reading assessment to kind of let us all know where they are. And I'll get more details of that next week to see our exact day. And we're also moving into next week, we'll be getting to chapters 5 and 6 with Percy Jackson and starting what is called the hero's journey. And that's where we are right now. Things are going great. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. And I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Hello, 6'4 families. Mr. O here. I always find it ironic that I'll have an owl sitting on my head, depending on where this picture is sitting, but it's like this weird thing that's sitting right here. It's pretty funny. Either way, I want to thank a mystery parent. Last night during open house, we had our Amazon wish list open, and we had headphones and a power cord sent to us. However, without a gift receipt, we have no idea who sent it because they send us a little receipt like this. But we want to give you a shout out for sending that to us. Thank you very much. We are very much appreciative. But parents, if you do use that Amazon wish, if you can make a little note in that gift receipt so we know who to reach out to, we'd love to thank you more validly than me mystery shouting out to whoever sent one this morning. Either way, in science this week, we started thinking like a scientist. It's a very brief 2-week unit. Today, we started with an ink lab where students tested 4 different black inks and how they interacted with water. Really what it was talking about how scientists use observations and start to collect evidence. On Monday, we're going to do the second follow-up day of that lab, talking about how we make conclusions with that evidence. And then next week, about the middle of the week, we're going to get into the scientific method, and we're going to do 2 different things, as you hear that coughing from Mr. Hagedorn in the background. Hopefully he's okay. And that scientific method, we're going to do 2 different things. First, we're going to figure out which soap, like Dial or Palmolive or some cheap knockoff Walmart brand, makes the biggest bubbles. And also we're going to be figuring out, are double stuffed Oreos actually double stuffed Oreos? Because I think they're lying, but we're going to test to see if they're real or not. Either way, looking forward to those 2 things next week. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hutchinson. Have a wonderful weekend. Get outside, get off those screens.
It's not going to rain. All right, let's talk social studies real quick as we end off this video. So in social studies, we are doing a unit that is similar to what they're doing in science. It's called Thinking Like a Historian, though, and it's about a 3-week-long unit where we kind of talk a little bit about what history is, and that's what we've been doing these last few days. We've been talking about primary and secondary sources. We've been working with timelines. That's what we were working on a lot today. We've been talking a little bit about how history is told through different perspectives and told in different ways depending on who you're talking to. So that's what we've been working through this last couple of days. We're going to push on next week into the 5 themes of geography. So we'll talk about what the 5 themes of geography are and how they work around the world. And as that unit ends, then we're going to focus really hard until the end of this first quarter on geography. What does the world look like? How is it different? Why would you want to live next to a river? Why wouldn't you want to live next to a river? Those are our main goals going forward. So this is your first Owls video. We hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, like I said last night, please let us know. Send us an email and we'll get those answered to you as best we can. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.